coming after him, that the shooters open up the car door looking for him. So if the parties who murdered your auntie was actually looking for you, then you wouldn't be like friendlier with them. You wouldn't be. I've been on the phone all day.
Flacco be giving that info. Shout out to Flacco real quick though, because he definitely be giving that info. That's how I get a lot of my info, because he stay up on it. He has like facts and truths to it. So we're gonna see what Flacco, what up, man? Talk to your boy, dog. What you got going on? Talk to the world.
Investigating the death of T Grizzly's auntie, Jobina Brown. I've been diving deep into the conspiracy, trying to figure out what's true. What's true about this conspiracy? And the conspiracy that I'm referring to is the conspiracy that T Grizzly enlisted the help of Chicago dudes that he knew to murder his aunt Jobina Brown, who he impregnated to make that scandal go away and to retain back his masters from her. I've been trying to uncover what's true about this and what's not true about this. There's a lot of inconsistency in this story, but the one thing that's consistent, after speaking to a lot of people, receiving information from Jobina Brown's camp, from people within T Grizzly's camp, after having information from them transfer over to me, the one thing that is consistent, it's not looking good for T Grizzly. That's the only thing that's consistent so far.
Brown, the manager and aunt of T Grizzly, was shot and killed in Detroit on Tuesday night, August 20th. Comments about her death began surfacing Wednesday, August 21st on social media before her passing was confirmed by TMZ. According to law enforcement sources, a shooter opened fire on Grizzly's Cadillac Escalade while the vehicle was traveling around Detroit. The gunman allegedly approached on foot and shot Brown, who was sitting in the back seat in her left side. Grizzly was reportedly riding in the passenger seat and got out of the vehicle as the shooter approached. The driver said the attacker fired 3 or 4 shots and noted that Brown screamed before the gunfire began. Brown was rushed to a local hospital but died from her wounds. She was 41 years old. Police don't know if Grizzly was the intended target of the attack. He and the driver were unharmed.
From my perspective, this entire story begins when the first and only suspect who has been arrested so far was arrested 2 months after the incident. When Wu Thing, aka Wu 600 from Chicago, was initially arrested for the murder of T Grizzly's auntie Jobina Brown, the streets of Detroit was talking almost immediately. People was calling this a backdoor from the very beginning.
Everybody on the east side know that, nigga. Them been facts. What you talking about? How the you don't know? What you mean? You know that everybody who killed everybody and popped everybody, but you don't know how son they got down on auntie though. Bro, what kind of crime reporter is you? What you mean?
People initially thought when people in Detroit was calling it a backdoor, they were referring to OTF or 600 backdooring T Grizzly. Because at the time, T Grizzly was really close with OTF and 600 through Buka 600. So when a 600 member murdered his auntie, people thought, man, the OTF or 600 like backdoor T Grizzly? It wasn't until time went by and people began to put the pieces together. Like, hold on. OTF or 600 couldn't have backdoored T Grizzly because the killer of T Grizzly, Wu Thing, was arrested in 2019. In 2022 or 2023, T Grizzly did a joint album with Lil Durk. In 2024, T Grizzly made Buka 600 right-hand mans with the killer Wu Thing his groomsmen for his wedding. So T Grizzly was becoming closer, like probably closer than ever, with the alleged parties that murdered his auntie. So it couldn't have been a backdoor, because if it was a backdoor, if he felt like his life was in danger, because T Grizzly did multiple interviews saying that they were coming after him, that the shooters opened up the car door looking for him. So if the parties who murdered your auntie was actually looking for you, then you wouldn't be like friendlier with them. You wouldn't be closer with them. You wouldn't make Buka 600 your groomsman. You wouldn't, right, like do a song with Lil Durk or a joint album with Lil Durk. And the only Lil Durk ties here is October 19th, 2019. He was parked in the alleyway. The police pulled up because they ran the tags and they seen the vehicle was reported stolen. They attempted to initiate a stop. He ran away. he was eventually caught. He was ultimately arrested and charged for being in possession of a stolen vehicle. But get this, and this is where you really start to look at these dudes like, yeah, y'all are just professional doofuses. So on top of being caught in a stolen vehicle that was used in a homicide 2 months prior, he was also caught with a firearm. And after ballistics was done on the firearm that he was arrested with, ballistics shows that not only was the vehicle connected to the homicide, not only was the vehicle identified as being the getaway vehicle of the homicide of Jobina Brown, but he was also found in possession of the firearm that was also used in the murder of Jobina Brown. Ballistics shows that this was the firearm that killed Jobina Brown. This is where we introduce new information that I didn't include in my last video. And this is the part of the video where we start looking at T Grizzley a little crazy. We start looking at T Grizzley with a side eye here. T Grizzley told the story of what happened the night of the murder. T Grizzley stated that he was with his auntie / manager, Jobina Brown. They made
Grizzley, one of Detroit's most popular. Brown was shot and killed on the city's east side.
I'm playing AJB. I wish I was sitting outside with you and I was in that bank with you. You know your favorite rapper when the never.
Was she alive when did she die on the scene or? No.
I'm not gonna lie, this is crazy. This is some crazy stuff. Like your aunt, like T Grizzley, please tell me this ain't true, cuz. Please tell me this is not true. Not your aunt, man. You ain't tap your aunt and then had to erase her. Come on, bro. Y'all gotta get into this with me, man, because this is some crazy shit right here.
I think that no, she died at the hospital. She was still alive.
I think that's him at the I think he's interviewing with somebody. He's stuttering. I've seen this one already before, but he's stuttering.
She was still breathing and everything. She called me.
She called you?
While she was shot, she called me.
What'd she say?
I was trying to talk to her. I didn't hear what she was saying.
Oh.
She couldn't really form no word.
If I'm Detroit's very
Shot and killed on the city's east side.
Face and think I'm playing AJB. I wish I was sitting outside with you and I was in that bank with you. You know your favorite rapper when the never.
Was she alive when did she die on the scene or the hospital?
I think that no, she died at the hospital. She was still alive. She was still breathing and everything. She called me.
She called you?
While she was shot, she called me.
What'd she say?
I was trying to talk to her. I didn't hear what she was saying.
Oh.
She couldn't really form no word.
if I'm Detroit's very own T Grizzley, I'm
That's
keeping a
crazy.
low profile. After this video, you might hear a lot of what ifs. Maybe a few people even saying nowadays when these rappers get married, they in some shit. Because truth be told, as our older generation would say, what's done in the dark will come to the light. Now, a lot of folks might not remember this, but about 7 years ago, T Grizzley lost someone publicly referred to as his aunt. Whether she was blood or not, that's still up for debate. But some say it was through marriage. But what we do know is that she was tragically gunned down while riding in the Uber. And by some twist of fate, T Grizzley had gotten out the same car just minutes before the shots had rang out. Now, at the time, everything seemed off, but nobody had real answers. Then about 2 months later, a man allegedly tied to one of T Grizzley's groomsmen, a man connected to Lil Durk, someone tied to him from his same neighborhood in Chicago, Illinois, which we'll later discuss, was arrested in connection with her murder. Since then, the case been cold in many people's eyes. And yet, Detroit police still have an open $2,500 reward for more information. And that alone tells you everything ain't fully closed on this. But what if I told you that was just the surface? Because what I found out while digging into this court transcripts and trial updates and federal paperwork, found make it deeper, way deeper than what people may expect. Pause. Now, there, as of now, has been whispers that she might have been pregnant, allegedly, by T Grizzley.
No.
That wasn't even his blood aunt, but all that is.
What? That's what I'm saying. This gets wicked. This gets wicked.
Transcripts and trial updates and federal paperwork, found make it deeper, way deeper than what people may expect. Pause. Now, there, as of now, has been whispers that she might have been pregnant, allegedly, by T Grizzley. And that wasn't even his blood aunt. But all that is he say, she say to this point. Because still, Grizzley called her his aunt. And that's what the world ran with. Not to mention he was signed to her, which some say is a clear motive. But today, I'm bringing y'all the full breakdown. Court documents, timelines, trial updates, and theories media skipped over. Because y'all will find out later in this video that someone is currently standing trial for her murder. And based on documents I've seen, I wouldn't be shocked if the feds step in once this trial is wrapped. In this video, we're going through everything from what happened that night in the Uber to who this man really is that's facing trial, to why certain people in Grizzly's circle started going ghost once the pressure came down. We're clearing up every rumor, laying out the facts. And like we always do, fam, at the conclusion, I'm here to hear from you once I lay everything on the table. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to jump right to it. T. Grizzley, born Terry Sanchez Wallace Jr., is a rapper straight out of Detroit, Michigan. He came up from tough circumstances. Raised on the west side, his mom was sentenced to 20 years when he was just a teen, and his dad was killed in the streets. But instead of folding, Grizzley took to music. He gained national attention in 2016 with his breakout single, First Day Out.
All and fought for your life. Being broke did something to my spirit. Ass niggas to plug me. They act like they couldn't hear.
Now, that was a track he dropped just months after being released from prison for a robbery case tied to Kentucky, as he rapped about. The track blew up fast, doing millions of views in days, and earning cosigns from legends like Jay-Z and LeBron.
Boom, 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 boom. Hit the Rolling Stone with the rollie on. Jack portfolio.
From there, the momentum only grew. He dropped mixtapes, albums, and landed features with stars like Lord Durk and Meek Mill. But like most rappers with street ties, fame didn't come without a cost. The night he almost lost his life, or did it? Instead, his quote-unquote aunt did. In August of 2019, everything changed for T. Grizzley. He was riding through Detroit in a black Chrysler 300. A little after 9 p.m. on the 3600 block, a 3-mile drive on Tuesday, when the driver exited the vehicle, shots were fired from an unknown location. That driver was allegedly T. Grizzley going to his other aunt house at the location of the 3600 block of the 3-mile drive. A woman who took the stand today, almost 7 years later, which we'll later talk about. The bullet stuck Jobina Brown. May she rest in peace, and love and condolences to her family.
Grizzley, one of Detroit's most popular rappers, but earlier this week, Jobina Brown was shot and killed on the city's east side. Tonight, we're hearing from a local radio show host who worked with Brown. 7 Action News reporter Anu Prakash joins us live from the scene to tell us how Brown is being remembered and what police are saying. Anu.
Well, Glenda, Detroit police tell me that homicide investigators are still working on this case, still trying to figure out what led up to the shooting here on 3 Mile Road just off of Mack. Meanwhile, those who knew Brown say she was kind-hearted and a hard worker.
She was a sweetheart. She was a good person. She was the type of person that would look out for you, do whatever, she could to help you.
Bushman, host of The Bushman Show on 97.9 WJLB, first got to know Jobina Brown 3 years ago. He called her JB. She was the manager and aunt of Detroit rapper T. Grizzley. She also managed Detroit rapper Sada Baby. Sources say on Tuesday night around 9:30, the 41-year-old was sitting in a Chrysler 300 with 2 other men here on 3 Mile just off of Mack. Police say as one of the men got out of the car, she was shot and killed.
JB, I love you. I miss you, but I will never forget about you. You were a queen and you were awesome.
Bushman says he's been getting calls and comments on social media from people across the country, those who've gotten to know Brown and some who are fans of T. Grizzley. Bushman says Brown was a young woman who was committed and kind.
It was like her first time managing, but she grasped the knowledge of how to manage an artist and was running with it, and he's been very successful.
After hearing about her death, he shared this video of Brown in the studio with T. Grizzley in May of 2018. She was fixing his hair, taking care of him like Bushman says she always would.
I wanted to share something for people to remember her by. When you're behind the scenes, you don't always, and what she meant to T. Grizzley. What made you do that? What caused you? What was going on in your mind and in your life that you felt like you had to pull a gun out and pop?
Police solve this case. Please call Detroit Police Homicide. Live on the city's east side.
At the time, no arrest was made. Police made a flyer for $2,500 for information leading up to an arrest in JB's demise in a vehicle in Cook County. He was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment. And second, on March 15th, was let out on purpose, maybe even being used as bait or even working with somebody. Either way, something is off. Now, when JB lost her life, Wu-Tang was on probation. He had a tether. And we'll later explain how that played on helping solving this case for the state and the feds. October 19, 2019, just 2 months after JB lost her life, Wu-Tang was arrested in Chicago, Illinois. It was around 12:06 p.m. when officers from Chicago Police Department were on a routine patrol when they responded to another officer report of a male in